Hi all, my name is Hedges, and today's session we are going through with General Writing Task 1. General Writing Task 1 requires you to write a letter. There are few different types of letter you could see in IELTS exam. We will go through with them in another session. In today's session, we are looking for what is the IELTS examiner looking for in your IELTS Writing Task 1. Let's have a look at the IELTS band descriptors, General Writing Task Achievement. The first band descriptor is Task Achievement. What is says about indifferent band score? For band score 9, it says fully satisfies all the requirements of the task. Clearly presents a fully developed response. For band descriptor 8 says cover all requirements of the task sufficiently, presents, highlights and illustrate key features, bullet points clearly and appropriately. When we're targeting for band 7, it's asked us to cover the requirements of the task, presents a clear purpose with a tone consistent and appropriate, clearly presents, highlights, and illustrates key features, bullet points, but could be more fully extended. When we're getting band score 6, are we addressing the requirement of the task? Are we able to present a purpose that is generally clear? There may be inconsistency in tone, and so on. Let's look at the sample task. So there's a question prompt in front of you, which asks you to do General Training Writing Task 1. Later, you returned home from a holiday in another country and have realized that you left your credit card in the hotel room safe. Write a letter to the hotel manager. Identify who you are. Explain that you have left your credit card in the room safe. Describe what you want the manager to do. Write at least 150 words. You do not need to write any addresses. Begin your letter as follows. Dear Sir, Madam. There is a sample response. Let's quickly have a look and then we move further. Now, task achievement requires you the appropriacy, accuracy, and relevance of your response in relation to the requirement of the task. An appropriate response involves covering all the bullet points, avoiding unnecessary or irrelevant information, using the correct format and layout, making sure the purpose of the letter is clear, using the tone required for the citation, using your own words and not copying language from the instructions. Now, for the task achievement, what does the IELTS examiner want to see? They want to see appropriate and extended details about all 3 points. Balance a similar correct amount of detail about each of the 3 points in the question. Information about all 3 points in a logical order or sequence. A clearly stated purpose, reason for writing. Information not repeated means you're not copying words from the question. Writing in an appropriate style. As I mentioned, there are quite a few types of letters, mostly formal, semi-formal, or informal. You should be using appropriate grammar, appropriate vocabulary, an appropriate beginning and ending, appropriate and consistent tone, either polite or friendly. Now, let's quickly summarize it. Task achievement equals to what? Let's see our question prompt. Our question prompt asks us, you returned home from a holiday in another country and have realized you left your credit card in the hotel room. Safe. Write a letter to the hotel manager. So, identify who you are. Explain that you have left your credit card in the room. Describe what you want the manager to do. Write at least 150 words. So our first task achievement, we should be writing no less than 150 words, but should not go over either. The best option is keeping your writing in between 150 to 185 words. You do not need to write any address, so we need to consider this. We are not writing any address here. Begin your letter as follows. Dear sir, madam. So we should consider that we are using appropriate citation. Our opening and ending. So our opening is with dear sir or madam. The second thing, present a clear purpose, appropriate tone, whether you're writing for a formal, informal, or semi-formal letter. So you should have a consistent tone throughout the letter. Also, one paragraph per bullet point. So we have 3 bullet points here, which is the requirement of the task. Let's see the first 150 words. So if we go back here, so yes, we wrote about 165 something words here, which is meeting the requirement of task achievement 150 words. Now it says present a clear purpose. So when we see our first paragraph, we started, I'm writing, the first thing we started, dear sir and madam, which is one citation. Let me highlight it for you guys so it will be more convenient. So our first thing, we started the letter saying, dear sir, madam. So this is our first task achievement. Sorry. So how do we use appropriate tone? Well, you can see, as I mentioned already, we started with dear sir and madam. Sorry, I missed the slide, guys. So we started, I'm writing with regard to credit card I left in the hotel room when I was a guest at your resort last week. So it is very clear, why are you writing? The second thing we're looking for, appropriate tone. So how do we use appropriate tone? As I mentioned already, we are stating our citation with dear sir or madam. In fact, if you see the question, it tells us how to start your letter. It says, dear sir, madam. You can also see at the bottom of your letter that we finish off with yours faithfully. The third, one more thing with that appropriate tone use, we can say that there's another way we can use our tone. Look at the sum of the vocabulary, some of the experiences, expression that I have used in this letter are obviously formal expression. There are 4 formal letter. Dear sir, madam, our citation, with regard to, I kindly request started in my second paragraph. At your earlier convenience, your prompt and serious attention, and then closing citation with yours faithfully. So these are some of the phrases or words you can see are directing as a tone of the letter that it is a formal way of writing. Now, one paragraph per bullet point. So we are meeting this requirement. We need to write one bullet point per paragraph. So we have 3 bullet points in our question prompt. Therefore, we need 3 paragraphs in our answer. Have a look. You can see bullet points 1, 2, and 3 in the example prompt. Now, let's go back again quickly. So we can go through with our, so here we can see it says, okay, let me grab the pencil. So let me put this one here. Dear sir, madam, our beginning, one task achievement. Yours faithfully, our closing citation, another task achievement. We starting, I'm writing with regard to. So it is mentioning, why are we writing? 2, credit card I left in the hotel room as I was. Then now look at the things. 1, 2, so it's 1, 2, and 3 paragraphs. So 3 bullet points covered here. In first, we are giving them reason why are we writing for. In second one, upon my departure, I removed my belongings, including my wallet and passport from the safe, but I have realized that. So if you look at the vocabulary we used, is showing the tone as well. I kindly request. So you use these kind of words in a formal letter. At earlier your convenience. So as we mentioned, also you can see the flow of the writing. Now let's quickly have a look on one sample response you guys posted on the page. So I picked one. I couldn't get too much time to go through with all of them, but I will, and I will manage you guys how are we doing with that. So this is posted by Mudassar Bukhari, and the writing task one which was posted on the page was, some students have rented the apartment next to yours. Their parties are upsetting you, your family, and other tenants. Write a letter to the owner of the apartment. In your letter, describe the problem. Explain how the problem is affecting you, your family, and other tenants. Say what you would like the owner of the apartment to do. Write at least 150 words. You do not need to write any addresses. Begin your letter as follow. Dear. So we can see he started saying dear here. So the opening citation, dear sir, he's meeting the one task achievement requirement. Let me grab my pencil. So dear sir, one citation is there. Then I'm writing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, There are quite a few things you can use while you're writing. I'm writing to. A proper phrasing is missing. So due to that, you would likely going to lose the mark. Due to some issues being faced by us regarding some late night parties conducted by a group of students who had acquired an apartment next to us, allow me to explain why I'm so. But the thing is, here in this whole paragraph, are we able to see where are we mentioning the owner? Who are we talking about? This is the question, but what are you doing in your answer is you are assuming that owner is already mentioned. We can't see anything here because you missed the word to. You. I'm writing to you in regards, or I'm writing to discuss some issues whatsoever, but due to this word, you're losing the mark. Let's see the second paragraph. Clear all drawing. Let's move to the next one. Now, explain how the problem is affecting you, your family, and other tenants. So you started as this is in your knowledge. Whose knowledge? Is this something referring back? But there's nothing in our paragraph 1 which we could use as a reflection. So as this is in your knowledge that most of the tenants in your apartment are working people. Due to tough working schedule, it is extremely important for me to maintain a healthy routine, which is obviously not possible. We are going through with the grammar and other aspects later on, because right now we're just looking at the task achievement, whether we are able to achieve the task requirement as much as possible. The apartment next to me is rented by some students who are continuously conducting musical and dance parties with loud music being played whole night. This is an extremely annoying situation for me and my family. So you mentioned that most of the tenants in your apartment are working, okay. But you're talking about you and your family. You haven't mentioned anything which could reflect back for the tenant's problem, which could be anything you could add. Because this is all the noise you mentioned about the family. If you could add something which could reflect the second part, other tenants, it would be good. But again, it's written order and sequence, coherence and cohesion are too much affected here. So are we able to achieve the task achievement in paragraph 2? Well, somehow. Let's see the paragraph 3. Say what you would like the owner of the apartment to do. Write at least 150 words is the second. So due to this continuous disturbance, I'm finding it difficult to get up early in the morning. Moreover, the kids are also feeling uncomfortable in school due to lack of sleep. Many other families are facing the same aforementioned issues. Okay, so this is your back, you're reflecting for the other tenors here. So somewhat is reflecting back to the task achievement of the tenors, but not in clear manner. So the order is not as it should be smooth and clear. As a remedial action from your side, I want an immediate final warning to these students from you. I hope that this warning will work and we will not get disturbed again, especially at night. Yours sincerely, Mudassar. So your end citation is here, so you're meeting this end citation. But have you got an idea how much marks of the only task achievement is missing here? So we can say like this is a good phrase as a remedial action. But from you, we will discuss about the grammar and sentence structure later on. Let's move and say what everyone think about it. So for the task achievement, we saw the Mudassar later. Does the letter cover all the points? Well, it does cover the opening citation. It covers the word limit. It covers the end citation. There are 3 bullet points, but they are not that clear. So we could say partially yes. Is there any excess or irrelevant information? Well, not much, but because of not having in order, the information is so much confusing. Is the layout correct? Well, with the correct layout, as we should have keep in mind how we form a paragraph. We could have the background information. Then I will discuss the formation of the paragraph later with you guys. I'm not sure whether all of you guys are aware of how to write a good paragraph. Now, is there any excess or irrelevant information? As I mentioned, not really. Is the layout correct? Not that formal way. Is the purpose clear to the reader? Well, we can grab the meaning what Mudassar is trying to tell, but it's not that much clear because of the sequencing and ordering the information. Is the tone consistent and appropriate? Well, no. Does the candidate use all his her own words? Some of the words looks like copied, which is very important area, because if the examiner find out you use the phrase but you are not competent in that, so they could have an impression of thinking that you have memorized those words but you do not have the understanding of the words. Like as the beginning you said, you missed the two in regard to or whatever you would like wanted to say over there. I'm writing, but you missed the whole phrase, so it could impact the marking. Now look at the sample response. I'm writing to complain. So this is a complain later. We are complaining about something. So it is clearly mentioning what are we trying to say about the students who are renting your appointment. So we are clear here who we are talking about. Who are we talking to? Your appointment, which is situated next to mine. They invited a large number of people to the apartment almost every evening. The noise level is unacceptable and it continues until early in the morning. What's more, they persistently leave rubbish in the public area of the building. Although I have tried to talk to the student, they have been uncooperative and the situation has not improved. Come to the second point. This situation is having a detrimental effect not only on the other occupant of the building, but also on all of my family. I have to get up early to work and I am constantly tried from lack of sleep. My son, who has exams soon, is finding it difficult to concentrate at school. because he is not getting enough sleep. Now, come to the third point. I would be grateful. So this is kind of, if we look at here, this is a very formal wording here. This situation, we are reflecting about what is the point second asking us to do. Convey my concern and remind them of the noise regulation in the block. If the situation does not improve, further action may be required. So look at the wording. You can feel it. It's very formal wording for a formal communication. I look forward to your cooperation in this matter. Yours faithfully, John. So, guys, writing a letter is not that hard. We just need to keep some points in mind that we should look at the task achievement. We should understand all the 4 criterion of the writing task or whatever task we are going through to get maximum marks. Let me know how you find it. Is it clear enough? Or if it's not, if you want any clarification further, drop a message. And I will see you with the second criterion of our band descriptor. I'm trying to shut this down.